What it is, folk, top of the morning to you. Boss here. This, that, and the other thing is going on. It's getting thick. The powers that be, they are. I'll say that they're playing chess pieces against one another, and it's causing a great amount of dismay and disruption. But then again, there was already that going on anyway. If it wasn't from one arena, it was in another. If it wasn't about the coronavirus and sickness, it was about police brutality. If it wasn't about politics, it was about some other type of social unrest, universal country conflict, diplomacy issues. It was always something as of late. So it's like, just more logs on the fire. The fire is burning higher, you know. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I can't consume myself but so much because it takes away from what it was designed to do. Those things are designed to get you off of more important matters. And if you really know where you should be and what you should be doing, you can't get distracted from that thinking, if I change all this over here, somehow or another it's going to benefit me right where I'm standing and sitting. That's not the case. That's not the case. Problems abroad, global situations, yeah, they are what they are, but you do what you can do and you stay in your lane and keep moving, keep pushing. You have to. You have to. That's how you lose sight of God. That's how you lose sight of real and true purpose and point in life. Purpose and points in life. That's how you do that. Trying to do any and everything over here. Trying to do what God does, which is be everywhere at all times. You can't do that. You're mortal. You're a little dude, you're a little lady, you know what I'm saying? You're a girl, a guy, a man, a woman, a boy, a child, a sister, niece, auntie, and you are in a family unit that is constructed the way you can make effective moves and purposes to change lives. Those lives, but not all lives. The closest you can come to that is a prayer that's meaningful and heartfelt, and that'll go as far as that's going to go, and then that's that. That's that. That's that. So don't get too caught up to the point where you lose sight of doing more than what you should. Overexerting yourself, acting outside of your bounds and boundaries. And that's exactly what I meant when I was talking about the kid out of Antioch, Illinois. Admirable, like good initiative, bad judgment. Good initiative, bad judgment. Whatever reason you thought everything was so good over where you lived, where you could go and lend a hand in this capacity, we're going to go and risk potential jail time, our own lives, possibly take the lives of others. That's what we're being summoned to do. And by whom? Who called? Who called and said to come? Who called for me, Kyle, and little James and Derek? Who called for us? Where'd that call come from? I can't warrant that. And I'm not going to go back into it because I said what I said and I meant what I said. And I ain't changing that. So you can like it, dislike it, or go to hell. Either one. Either one. Either one. Either one. So it's just a matter of, as much as you may or may not like what's going on, I mean, you do your share and do your part and lend a hand and try to be of some aid and assistance. But, you got to know when you got to regulate yourself sometimes. You got to know when you're stepping out of bounds. You got to make sure you didn't leave your house unattended. You sweep around your own front door before you go sweep around mine or anybody else's. You're supposed to know that song. That's a oldie but a goodie. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, it's the divide of people is so apparent, and it's like some people don't want there to be any unity. They're dead set on it not being, any type of unification at all. No unification without communication, and you can pretty much keep that wall up. It'll always be there, or it'll always be that. But and some of you are raising dogs and cats, and you ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? You ain't stunting whether or not the world gets along by and large, and you don't care if people can greet one another and be on the same accord as far as humanity, a brotherhood of humanity, my human brother, my human sister. No, it's got to be by the book, by the color, by the hair, by the eyes. That's our divide. We have to be separate when it comes to that. Okay, well, you ain't got no kids to walk them into a world like that. For those of you who don't have children, you don't have that explanation to make. You don't get to say, or you don't have to say, what your explanation is when an unjust criminal act happens, or an unjust killing happens, or unexplicable act happens, and somebody just like your kid witnesses it and then has questions. See, you don't have that. You still raining you're raising canines and freaking cats. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. You don't have that problem. You ain't got to spend your cat shit. Bring him that damn half a dead fish or that fancy feast or whatever, throw it in the bowl, and he happy to see you, and you happy to see him, and you're good. Felines and canines are good. We're talking about the humankind that's out here every day trying to figure out how can we make this a better place to live in. And don't tell me you're doing that when you're trying to go by stats. I have no idea what these people are like or what's going on with them, and I don't give a shit. But let's make mandates to affect the people we do know, and people we do know are going through certain things and where they are. You can't do that. You just simply can't do that. And you should not be in a position where you make those kind of choices because you're biased. You already started off biased. I'm this. I am independent, Republican, conservative, liberal, satanic. I'm whatever I am, and that's it. I'm okay. Well, yeah, you're not going to make for a very good, definitely not a good leader. I don't even know how much of a good teammate you'd be in trying to, further the objective of making hatred less and love and communication more. I don't know how much you'd even be of any help with that, because you have to have people to go against. When you have a life of where you go against, you're always against something or someone. You're those people that look real bad and ugly in the face when you get old, because your life is constantly the acting verb of prevention. Nobody should have the money we have. Nobody should have the space we have. Nobody should have the property we have. Nobody should have the lifestyle we have. We got to stop them before they infiltrate what we have. And then we'll have to accept, Korean surfers and fucking parasailers and, boat owners, homeowners, property gurus and real estate. Why can't any and everybody be a part of that as long as you've done the due diligence? Why can't you? And why would anybody be against that with no criteria to say as to why I shouldn't or can't have? Why? Why? You can't have a life that's just against things being, modern. And if they're modern, then they're subject to change. And if they're subject to change, then yeah, things are going to be not the way you grew up knowing, and not the way your parents raised you to think they were going to be. They are now a different way and an element that you have to accept, because change comes with time. And so be it. So what? Does anybody remember the Roman Empire when they were running shit and kicking down doors? Anybody know the English rule and how long that went? Things change. People, things, existence change. And it's not going to all be on one side at some point. At some people, it's going to move and it's going to motion towards those who might have seemed like they were always going to be, on the bottom, or subservient, or inferior. Those people's times will come. The more that they come together and realize they're not letting us in, but that means there's more of us out here who aren't in. Then we'll collect all of our numbers and make our numbers greater on the outside, and then we'll force our way in. And that's how we'll get there. And it may not be pretty. It may not be pretty. While you're inside getting fat, you forget it takes you have to be in some kind of shape in order to face the rebellion of people who are tired of you oppressing them. Yeah, kind of. That's the property damage you're worrying about, because you're a property owner. You're a landowner. But you didn't let nobody else be a property owner or landowner, so they don't give a shit about land or property or you. I don't have any money, so why would I not feel... I don't feel shit about looting and stealing and taking. I've been doing that before this happened, and now the opportunity is going to take advantage of this unjust action, and I'm going to do it here now. I'm going to do it here and now. You got to be able to share. You got to be able to give an equal piece of the pie to everybody. Otherwise, the ones who are hungry will be the dominant ones, and they'll be the majority.